Hey everybody, welcome to Down Home Diamond Painting and More. My name's Holly, and tonight we're going to do a different sort of whip and chat type thing. I'm really not going to be working on a painting. I'm going to go through a few tips and tricks for maintaining your tools, fighting static on your drills, and things like that. Just some helpful hints, to try to help you answer some of the questions that come up. I see these questions a lot in some of the Facebook groups I belong to, and I haven't ever really seen a good video that shows folks how to handle this. So I thought tonight I'd do a little short video to give you a few of my little tips and tricks on how I handle some of these different things, and here we go. First of all, just about every kit you get has a painting pen of some kind with it. A lot of times they come with multi-placers and things. And with most of these, you can kind of just disassemble all of this. Now, I usually remove this whole tip. And it's good if you have a pair of pliers, because unless you've got a really strong grip, you're not going to be able to get that out. Now, once you take it out, usually it's kind of difficult to put it back in. I have a special purpose for this particular pen, so I'm going to reassemble it. I'm actually going to give the plastic parts of this to my granddaughter. But I'm going to use this little metal tip. Now, to remove that little metal tip, you get a hold of it very gently, because it is brass, and it will bend if you grab it very hard. And you just kind of wiggle that and take it out. And now this pen, this tip is broken and it's bent. Now that's really, really hard to see. As you can see, that pulled out very easily. I have a little bit of pink wax left in there. And because I've had to take that out, I just take a pen, and see if I can kind of remove it. It's not necessary to remove it. I mean, you don't have to take it out. And that's not wanting to come out very easily. So, it's not a big deal. We won't worry about it. But this tip is bent right here. It's also broken. So, I'll take that out, because it does affect my drills. It does affect being able to pick them up. AB drills, it scratches them. And then I'm going to take this tip and I'm going to place it back in here. Now, they usually fit in here pretty tight. So, if you can get it started, sometimes you can just kind of push it in, like with your pliers. Or if you have to, you can set it down on the table and push it. Doing that, you need to be very careful, because if you happen to go sideways with it, particularly with a resin pen, be it one you've bought from Diamond Art Club, one that you've gotten from Amazon, one you've bought from an Etsy shop or whatever, if you break this plastic off on some of these pens, this piece is not removable. It's not replaceable. So you've broken the whole pen and it's not usable anymore. But now we have a new tip on here, and I'm now back in business with this pen, and I'll just take this little brass piece and I'll throw it away. There's not really any recycling them or anything like that. And this part here I'm going to give to my 2-year-old granddaughter, because, well, she's always wanting to help me diamond paint, but I don't want to give her the brass part of it because I'm afraid she'll cut herself on it. So now she has her own diamond painting pen. But that's repaired, all fixed up, all ready to go. So I'll put it back over here in my holder. And now the next one. This one has, and it's really hard to see it in this video, but it has a long string of pink wax. And a lot of people, that bothers them that it has that string of pink wax in there. So if you just take very gently, pull that out. A lot of times that whole string will pull out just like that in one swoop. And then to clean this out, you just kind of pull this piece down. And once again, we'll get our straight pen. And take a straight pen and Just kind of hook the pin in it, and you can pull a little bit more of it out this way. And then they recommend that you really not use metallic things in these tips, but if you're very careful and you just hook the wax and don't, you know, dig into the side of your tip, you can use a straight pin or something like that. I wouldn't use tweezers. I wouldn't use the metal tweezers like these, because that tip is very big. You do take a chance on digging a groove in the side of your tip, and then it's going to end up scratching your drills, or it's going to hold wax. But with this one, we now have that little string of wax out of there, and we can go back to painting and not have the distraction of that little string of pink wax hanging out. I say it doesn't bother me. I usually just change it and clean it out when I change the metal tips. I have to change them about once every 2 or 3 months, depending on how much I use a pen and how much wax and everything I've used. But like I said, you just push the little metal tip back in, and now that's all cleaned out, and it's ready to go again with the little pink wax string to distract you. We'll put that one back in our holder. We'll take all our little strings of wax and little balls of wax, and we'll dispose of them. That's not reusable. And now I have a pen that the tip broke out of it, and I have a metal tip that was made for it. Now, I've tested this tip in here, and it doesn't fit snugly, which means it's going to wobble. Could conceivably break my pen with it wobbling, and I put pressure on it to set drills or move drills. So, of course, now I can't get my washi tape to do what it's supposed to do. What I usually do with these is I take a little bit of washi tape and I wrap it around the base of this, like this. Just one wrap is usually all you need to secure these in. Just one little wrap. If you put a bunch on there, whoops. Well, broke it off too soon. So we'll put it back on there and bring it around just a little bit further. If you put more than one wrap on there, then you have to kind of force it in, and that causes you to break your pen. Okay, it didn't want to roll off, so we'll go this way with it. And then you just, one single wrap, like that. Make sure it's stuck down good. And then you just kind of give it a little twist as you go in. And now that's snug, it's secure, it's not wobbling. And I don't think I have to worry about breaking my pen because it's moving around and wobbling too much in there. This being a wooden pen, it looks a little funny. It looks like it's crooked. It's not. It's sitting down flush all the way around. But I'll keep an eye on that. I'll keep an eye on it to make absolutely sure that it's, not working its way back out. But that's how you put in a custom tip. Now, this one I got from Everlasting Tips and Nicole in Australia. I have some other tips that I bought off of Amazon. Or actually, I got them from Etsy. But in doing some research, I discovered that these tips came off of Amazon. The lady was selling them as being handmade tips, and they are not. I am not going to link this company because of the fact that she is falsely advertising. And I don't feel that I should reward her for a false advertisement. And I tried to use this. It does not work very well. And this is not a handmade tip like this tip is. This tip is hand machined, hand turned. These are cast. I've worked in the metal working field and know people who've worked in the metal working field. And looking at the bases of these, you can see where the mold for them was put together. So these are cast. They do come with these little rubber rings. And I'm not saying that the ones you buy from Amazon are bad. They're not. But this is not what I ordered. This is not what I was told I was getting. So I will not be recommending this lady. But I did want to show you, that there are some other tips. And some of them come with the grooves and the little rubber rings. And those are easier to put together in some ways, because you just pick the number of rubber rings you need to keep it in. But I like these. I will link her shop. But now that one's ready to go. I'll have it ready to do my next painting. Put away all these things. Now next, I have my brush that I use for putting powder around the edges of my paintings. And this is really not totally dirty. I haven't used it a whole bunch. But this brush, when it does get dirty and does need to be cleaned, I simply, a little bit of water and a little bit of mild hand soap, not anything with lotion in it. Strictly just a hand soap. Even Dawn dishwashing soap works as long as you use a very small amount. Just put it in your hand and you swish the brush around and you get all of the powder, all of the stickiness. That's why Dawn works well for that, because it removes the stickiness. And then you just let this dry. Like I said, I don't really need to wash this one yet. I've used it a little bit, but the bristles are still smooth. They're not sticky. They're not caked with powder yet. So I don't need to wash that yet. But that would be how I take care of that when I do need to wash that up and take care of it. And now we come to, I think, something that's a big what about for a lot of people. And that is staticky drills. And I have a couple of ways that I handle staticky drills. One is I take a piece of dryer sheet and put it in the box with my drills. I'll show you that in a minute. But to keep them from being staticky and flying all over the place while they're in my tray, I take the dryer sheet and I just rub the tray down really well with it. And you can use this same little piece of dryer sheet for several times. It's not a one use. So you can rub down your tray there and rub down your tray and make sure you get well down between your ridges so that, when your drills are being shook around, they're not sticking to the ridges. And then when you get done with that, these are some drills that I've ordered from Tmall, DP with Sparklers. I'll link her also. But because of the shipping and the way they're handled in shipping, they tend to be really staticky when I get them. That's not her, that's the Postal Service. So I take my little piece of dryer sheet and I put it down in the bag and I shake it around for a minute. Kind of shake it all around in the drills. Try to, get it all down to the bottom and just generally roll the drills around. And then when I get done, this does not remove all the static. I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination this is going to solve all the staticky problems, but it helps. These are my little boxes that I use to store my specialty drills. And if I had tried to do this straight out of the bag without the little dryer sheet, they would have been all over the table. And like I said, this, it doesn't solve all the static. As you can see, there are still some static into the bottom of the bag. but it does help to kind of stop them from flying all over the place. And if I have a problem with still having a little bit of static, because that piece of dryer sheet went in to the box. Another little piece of dryer sheet. Drop it in here with the rest of these staticky drills. Close it up. Shake it around again. And this kind of helps to, as you can see now, they're not sticking quite so bad. As they sit with the dryer sheet in them and you move the box around and you use it, it will continue to help remove some of the static. But as you can see now, the majority of the drills fell out. I still have a few. You're not, when you're dealing with plastic bags and resin drills or acrylic drills, you're not going to get every single little bit of static off of every single drill. It's just not possible. But this does save a whole lot of headache. Usually when I get down to these few, so I can turn the bag completely over. But as you see, those drills all fell out. I got a little piece of trash left in there. But all the drills fell out. And they're not staticky. They're not clinging. So we can pour the rest of these now into our box. And, well, I quit dumping them all over the place. And there we go. Well, had one stuck to me. But that's how I handle that. Like I said, you know, they're new drills. They're going to be staticky a little bit. So you can put a couple pieces of dryer sheet. Some folks use things like Unstoppables. The Downy's Unstoppables, the scent crystals. And that helps. But I usually just put a piece of dryer sheet in there. And if I've got some that I know are extremely staticky, like new ones, like this, I, you know, take the boxes out occasionally and I'll just shake them around and, you know, shake the drills around over the dryer sheets, and it helps. That gets the, that gets all the static out of them before I have to use them. But that's a few of my tips, tricks, things that I do. I don't by any means say that mine's the best way or it's the only way. There are other people who have other suggestions that are just as good. They're different than mine. I've tried some of their tricks. They work, but these are the ones that work best for me. So I thought I'd share with you. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I would be happy to hear your comments. I would be happy to try any tricks that you have that you think are great. If you need an explanation on anything I've done tonight, you need me to redo it, show you closer how I did it or what I was doing, I'll be happy to redo the video or redo a portion of the video and show you exactly what I did, how I did it, and, you know, get into a little bit more detail if necessary. But all of you who are new, welcome. Glad to see you. Hope you come back and see me again. Everybody who's been here before, I'm glad to see you back. Hope to see you again the next time. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, and that way you'll know when I'm posting things and when we're doing new stuff. I hope to have some new canvases unboxed here in the next few days. I'll be posting those. Let you see what's new in my world. And I'm going to end this for tonight and hope that everybody got a little something out of my demonstration here. And as I close, always, may the sun shine warm on your face. May the rain fall soft on your garden. May love find you always. Y'all come on back and we'll talk again next time. Bye, y'all.